Welcome to Slendytubbies Basics for Dummies. This is just a brief showcase of everything in Slendytubbies that you can do. The first thing is customizations, where you can choose from 58 different hats. And this right here is a Gravity Falls reference in case you can get it. There's a bunch of different hats to choose from, but I prefer to go with the default hat. The first mode we have is Collection. And I'm going to show you just what collection is like. And this game is very much based off of Slenderman. Slenderman the 8 Pages, in case none of you had ever played that. It's a fun game, I recommend it. Very scary though, because the Slenderman is right behind you and you turn around just to see that face. Oh god, freaks the crap out of me. It's just like, oh my god, Slenderman!
Scan has successfully completed.
Oh, come
Driver
on.
update has detected out-of-date drivers that
Look,
may
I'm
need your
sorry if that kind of
attention.
thing happens.
Click
That thing
Update
always
now to
pops up
download
on
the
my
latest
computer.
updates.
Sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it does. And I don't know if you can hear it. I heard it in one video and I was just like, oh, come on. Why computer? Why can't I just... Alright, where is he? I don't see him. And there's a monster in each map. Only 1 or 2 selected times. It'll be a monster from the same map. Oh, and in this map especially, you can find dead bodies of some of the Teletubbies. Like right here. Here's Poe's dead body. You can't really find any in the satellite station, or just in a place where you would expect there to be at least some dead bodies. Controls are easy. Right now, it's very hard to tell, but I am. You can't use the mouse. I'll just grab these real quick. They'll come running back in here in a second. Check this out. You can get launched, and I'm just going to end this part of the video here. And as you can see, Tinky Winky's walking away. Boom, there we go. That's the first map. You can collect all 25. The next one we have right here is Versus. This one works better for multiplayer, which I'll go into in a second. And you can play as any of the monsters. You just can't select the monsters. You have to play the monster that's in the map. Like for instance here, this is Crawler Tubby. And for some reason, even though he doesn't have legs, he can jump. Don't ask me how, but he can. Except in just like regular collection, the monsters don't jump, but he can jump. Somehow. I don't know how. Also, he can pretty much run fast. Again, I'm not sure how. So that's collection and versus. Now on to the next mode, which is probably one of my personal favorites. You can also select the difficulty. Let's go with impossible, because that's how I am. That's what man I am. This mode I actually really do love. Also, when you have it on this difficulty, you have to be careful, or else you will get screwed. Yep, like that. See, I only got hit once. But the basics of the mode is that you kill newborns, and when you get to wave 10, you have a boss fight. That's just the purposes, I guess you could say. Next mode is infection. Infection. This is how this mode works. Okay, one person is a newborn, and it's a different form of newborn. It's not like the ones that you're used to. But this one also works better for multiplayer, and as you can see, I'm in the satellite station. The way I believe it is that this is the modes that work out, because this mode and versus mode are both better for online multiplayer, so I believe it goes something like this. Collection, survival, and then infection. So since I don't have anybody to play with, I'll go check online to see if there's any servers, because there's most likely at least one person that's playing an infection server. Actually, what map do I want? Actually, yeah, let's go with this. Let's go with this. And this is where I'll go over a brief, like, bio of each monster. This one is something like Gary's Mod, where you can put random, like, NPCs down, and then you can fight against them. You can also play as them. This was added in more recently. So I'm going to play as one of them. And we're going to start from the very beginning. This one, Tinky Winky, is the very first monster to ever appear in all the Slendytubbies games. He's one of the 4 test subjects of the Slendytubbies project, where they put 4 Teletubbies into like a hamster dome area, which is known as Teletubby Land. And they have somebody watch over them to see how they behave. Next one is Chainsaw Dipsy. This one is the Dipsy corpse that you can see inside of the mainland's house. And he eventually gained a chainsaw. I don't know how, but he did. And then he went to the custard facility to wreak havoc there. His model was actually different in Slendytubbies 2, because it used to be this like very buffed up Teletubby, and it used to not actually be Dipsy. It used to be some other Teletubby. Surprisingly. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Next one we have right here is Slicer Poe. This is one of the 3 forms of Poe that you can find in this game. And she, interestingly enough, has a reminder, like something in like a TV show on Netflix. And I don't have Netflix. This was just some kind of thing in 7th grade, to where our teachers let us watch some shows on Netflix. And there's a show called Lost in Space. Well, in one of the episodes, there was a robot, and the robot had a similar appearance to this one. And I was just thinking, huh, that looked like Poe. I told my friend, and he said, yeah, it does. Next up we have right here is Lana. She's the only, like one of the only of the 4 Teletubbies that has only one infected form. And a commenter on one of my videos said that it would be cool if there was another form of Lana in the game. I was just thinking, yeah, it would, because, you know, Lana needs some love too, you know? The next up we have right here is the newborn. The newborns are basically just like a baby child in development in their mothers. If you think of it like that, it kind of does, because it doesn't have hair and it doesn't have limbs. So it's just a strange little specimen, to be honest. It also has a pretty fast attack speed. Alright. Next up, Lake of Dipsy. Now this map I'm in right here, this is where you can actually find this version of Dipsy. And one thing is that this literally is this Dipsy. It's this Dipsy. Just for some reason has a head. And I actually had a theory that me and my friend were talking about, and that this Dipsy is actually Dipsy's head, but it grew a body. Nunu infected it to grow a body. And at first that sounds really stupid, but then you realize that this game is completely random. And the next one we have right here is the Guardian. In case you don't know, this is actually the NPC the Teletubby you start, the default character basically, that you start out playing as in the game, before you change its color to like what I have. I have a red Teletubby, wearing his hat and all that good stuff. So yeah. Next one we have right here is the Crawlertubby. And I've already showcased this one, but I just wanted to let you guys know that this is when you get the regretful ending, to where you join Nunu, then you realize how bad his plan is, then you tried to turn around and go home, but Poe was there to slice your legs off and you lost your head in the fall. And this is actually what your antenna looks like if I can get you to turn around. Alright, the next one we have right here is the Spider Poe. This creature was recently introduced into Slendytubbies 3, and this is, I don't even know where they got this from, but in case you couldn't tell, this actually has a part from the Slicer Poe. If you notice that she has the size on the back. The next one I have right here is the Yeti Tubby. At first, whenever I started playing Slendytubbies 3, I always thought that he was just some kind of another version of Dipsy. But until I realized, no, he's actually a different color than Dipsy, but he's got the green on him. I just realized that this is just another one of... And apparently he's supposed to be very much based off of the Abominable Snowman, especially by his name. The next one we have right here is the Claw Tubby. Claw Tubby is the cave tubby that you see in the caves, of course. And I don't really know that much about him either. And there's that weird glitch. Like, you just freeze him. Oh, no, that's just his legs, the way he jumps. Okay. And, he's just... I'm pretty sure that somebody, on YouTube, whenever Slendytubbies campaign was popular, somebody mistook him as a Bigfoot. And also, this arm, I don't really know what the heck is with his arm. The only thing I can go off of is that somebody cut it off, and then it formed into that. I don't know. I was thinking about having an interview with Sean, but I don't have his Discord tag. Go to next. Ah, yes. Tinky Tank. This right here is Tinky Tank. This is the second form of Tinky Winky in the Slendytubbies game, and he also has a weird jumping anime. Oh, he just that. And his model is actually taken from Tank from Left 4 Dead, which is a game that I would love to play, but I just don't know what other people would think. Alright, let's move on to the next one. This is the Brute Twin. And for some reason, the game is completely broken with the Brute Twins. This is a strange glitch to where I'm pressing the S key. In case you can't tell, I am pressing the S key right. And look, I'm still pressing the S key. But not much is known about these two. There's two of them. And not much is known about these two. All I know is that they're brothers, and they probably grew up in a butcher shop. It's the only thing we can really assume from it. Next up is the Announcer. Now this is version 1 of 2 different announcers. This one was caught in the campaign as a boss fight, and there's really only 2 boss fights in the campaign, sadly. I wish there was more, but there's really only 2. And like I was very shocked whenever to see this thing come into Slendytubbies, because I mean they put some effort into this game, I will admit, and this was one of the things that I really like. Alright, like I said, there was 2 versions of the Announcer. Well, this is the other one. This one is the mini boss announcer, which you can only find in survival, and it used to be in previous versions whenever the announcer was added. This was the one in Versus, but you could also find the other one in the normal modes. Right. Next up is Shadow, and for some reason, this map looks a lot creepier. Not much is known about this kind of version, like this guy either, but there's a theory that he caused Lala's dream, which seems very likely if you think about it. So, and I don't know what happened in the dream, but I'm pretty sure it involves something to do with the event that happened. This right here is Tubby. Again, he's a character that I don't know much about, so there's not that much of a bio to go over with him. But he was added into the training maze instead of having the normal plethora of mobs like the tradition. Next up is the Skullgirl. Again, this is one character I do not know, because I don't really know if this was in the show, because, well, she's a human. Teletubbies aren't humans, they're some weird aliens. And an interesting thing is that if you kill her, you can actually see up her skirt, which is really weird. But I guess it kind of makes sense that she is wearing a skirt, and I don't... Girls that wear skirts probably aren't going to go to school to fall over and have people see that they're not wearing anything under it. Anyways, okay, who did I not review? And this right here is just a camera, as you can clearly see. Ah yes, I don't think I reviewed you. This is the first of 3 forms of Poe. This is also the Poe that was hanged. And she's probably one of my favorite versions of Poe in this game. I mean, don't get me wrong, these two are really cool. Alright, now let's move on to some more. Well, actually, I got these two. This right here is the classic Dinky Winky. He's not available in the enemies box, as you can clearly see. And he's just like a still figure that just does this. He has no animation, apparently. And he's slightly T-posing. The final of the main mobs that you can find in a map is the announcer, well, the imposter. This one is another fan character, I believe, because I asked somebody on Discord, and he said this was actually just like a fan character that has the Guardian's hat on a robotic body, and it's powered by Custard, those white little holes. So, I mean, I don't know much about him. All I can assume that he's a creation by Nunu that probably killed the Guardian and got his hat. Alright, now let's move on to the mobs. This is the other newborn. This is the newborn you play as an infection. And he wasn't in this this spawner right here, but eventually they added him in because they thought, well, I mean, we should probably add in the other mobs. Some of the mobs are not available, so I'll have to go into enemies and showcase them. So the next one we have right here is, I can't actually remember this robot's name, but he is also found in the campaign, and he is also one of these survival mobs. As you can see, I'm doing my version of you being me right around, baby. Then we have the 2 other mini bosses. This is the newborn bull, or as I call it, the new bull. These guys were added in an update that included the blue room, which is a moderator only map because I heard Taste Gaming play it. I mean, all I can assume is that Nunu wanted to make some weird, crazy mobs. Because I don't know much about these. I didn't, like, look them up or anything. And this right here is, the scorpion newborn. I call it the scorpion because it kind of looks like a scorpion. This is the first of the 3 mini bosses that actually look like a newborn. This really doesn't look like a newborn, but this one does. And I believe that's all. I think I got all of them. So let's show you the last of the... Well, first of all, let me turn normal. And then let me showcase this. This is the spider. This is not even a newborn. This is just a mechanical spider. This right here is the rocket launcher Tubby. This is one of those ranged people, one that shoot, you know, rockets. And actually, let me just showcase that real quick. Let's start. Yeah, see? You gonna fire at me? Anyways, next one I have right here is the invisible Tubby. This actually just kind of looks like a Chinese. And I can really not say anything else about it. Just that. Last right here is the gigantic newborn. I like to personally call this the spike newborn because it just looks like it has a bunch of spikes with Freddy Krueger hands. And when he gets down to halfway, he kind of has this enraged thing. I did not mean to do that. Alright. When he gets down to half health, then he starts attacking you. They're personally really fast to run away from until you get to half health, then you have to really just run. But anyways, that's all the mobs in the game that I wanted to show you. So if you enjoyed the video, please let me know. And yeah, just show it to your friends, get me some new subscribers, because we recently reached 600, so I guess you can consider this 600 subscriber special. So thank you for getting me to 600k, well, not 600k, 600 subscribers, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.